wanted to talk to you tonight about starting something new. I call it leaving the shore, just kind of letting go of things that we're comfortable with, that we're used to, and striking out in a new direction for something new. And the first thing I think we need is what I call our compass, and that's our intuition. Ernest Holmes said that intuition is spirit knowing itself, that there is a part of us that's connected to the mainframe of spirit. There's a God part of us, and we've all felt it. We've all felt it speaking through us at times, and I think we really need to develop that and trust that when we're going to start a new thing, to really trust our intuition. And the way we get in contact with that is meditation and spiritual practice. There are so many voices coming at us from outside in the media and the news and social media. Sometimes it can be hard to figure out what it is that we think. And I think it's really important for us to slow down and to trust our intuition, to trust that inner voice that we have. So I think that's where we begin, is to get in touch with what really motivates us. Where do we find our heart? Where do we find our spirit? And what are we being called for at this particular time? So we move into a new year, we move into a new time. What's calling us? And I think that gives us a sense of what I call a bearing. You know, I worked as a surveyor for a long time, and using a compass to get a bearing was a big part of how we found our way if we're in the woods. Now we have a global positioning system where we can look down at our phones and find out where we are. But I think we've always had to find out our direction. You know, sailors used to use the stars to find their direction and to get a bearing. And once we have a bearing and we start moving in a direction, Spirit has the opportunity to move to align with us. It's been said that once we decide, once we make a decision, Providence moves too. I love that. So choosing a bearing, and also knowing that we don't have to have everything figured out. Once we start moving in a certain direction, we can feel that we are being guided, that we're being directed. And there are no mistakes. We're going to get where we need to go, even though we can't see it in the beginning. You know, I teach a lot of parenting classes, and the first night I always have the parents say after me, we want our kids to make lots of mistakes. We want our kids to make lots of mistakes. I think that's what Spirit says to us when we come here to this planet to learn and grow. We're going to make mistakes. We don't want to make the same ones over and over again, but we're going to make mistakes when we try new things. When we choose a bearing, when we choose a direction, I think it's important that we're comfortable making mistakes when we try new things and knowing that we're going to be okay and that we're going to wind up in a place that maybe we hadn't planned on, but it's the perfect place for us. I think when we look back over our lives and see all the things that we've done that have guided us to where we are now, it's amazing. And there's got to be a bigger hand involved that's guiding us. You know, the thing about making mistakes is that we feel embarrassed when we make mistakes, or we feel like we've wasted time or we've wasted energy. But I think this can be the strongest part of our journey, is where we learn new things. You know, the great poet David White said, some things cannot be spoken or discovered until we have been stuck, incapacitated, or blown off course for a while. Plain sailing is pleasant, but you're not going to explore many unknown realms that way. I think that's important for us. It's important for us to realize that those side turns that we take that are unexpected might be the place where the greatest gifts lie for us. And the things that look like mistakes might be a way of Spirit nudging us in the direction that we need to go. One thing about intuition that I love so much, and why we study intuition so much in this teaching, is that it bypasses our intellect. It actually goes by our thinking and connects us with a deeper aspect of ourselves. And we have it, but we have a tendency to deny it, think we're going to figure everything out. Whereas the mystery of life is where the real magic lies. And that's what the journey is for a pilgrim. We're all pilgrims here, spiritual pilgrims. And I think when we connect ourselves with our intuition and what really is guiding us, that's where we make our greatest discoveries. It can be at a time when we're retiring from one thing and moving into something else. That's what's up for me right now. What has really been calling me is a sacred earth focus, a sacred earth ministry. And just one day when I was walking along, that just came to me. I don't know where it came to me from, but I do know in another way. It came to me from the deepest aspect of me. Once I started on that thought, once I started moving on that bearing, other things came into my life to support it. And I know that I'm moving in the right direction. So those nudges, those hunches, they move us towards the spot that we want to get to, even if we don't know what it is. So trust yourself. Try something new and trust yourself. And know that you'll get to someplace beautiful. And if we're going to be on a journey, we're going to need power. And we get power from our prayer life, from what we call spiritual mind treatment, or most accurately, I think, affirmative prayer. When we pray affirmatively about the things that we want, the things that we're looking forward to, the things that we're creating, that's where we get our sense of power. And so I encourage us all in this new year to dive deeper into our prayer life, to connect with Spirit, and to realize that the answers that we're looking for are there. And the last thing I would say is, what provisions do we need for a journey going forward? You know, we have so much stuff. We have so much stuff around us now. And I think it's important to decide what it is that we need. If you drive around any city these days, you're going to see a storage unit on every corner that's just filled with stuff that people don't need, but they hang on to. And I think it's important as we move forward to travel light, to see what's important to us, to see what we really need on this journey. Another thing I say in my parenting classes is, if your kids have a lot of stuff lying around, a good thing to say after dinner some night is, why don't you guys pick up all the stuff you'd like to keep, and I'll pick up the other stuff. And I think it's important for us now to realize, what do I need to keep? What do I need for this journey if I'm going to try something new? And to lighten our load with that. So that's what we do moving forward when we're discovering new lands. And we're not going to discover new lands unless we lose sight of the shore, lose sight of where we've been before, and to have the confidence and the courage to move forward. So we use our intuition to guide us. We find a bearing, a direction to move forward. And we know that if we choose a direction, Spirit's going to be with us. Spirit's going to guide us. Spirit's going to direct us. Spirit's going to be with us all the way. And we're going to find our power in that connection with affirmative prayer. That's where that special sauce comes from, our alignment with the higher truth. And the final thing is to let go of the things that no longer serve us and to move forward. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you again soon.
So if you'll just join me in taking a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, bringing us fully present into this moment right here and right now. For it is in the stillness of this moment that God is. That all that God is present, its power, its peace, its poise, its perfection. All available to us right here, right now. And I know that each of us is made of this perfect power, this perfect love, this perfect health and beingness. Every cell of our being vibrates with this truth. And so I know as we head through these holidays, through these busy times, that there is that centered calm, that peace, that joy that follows with us, through us, as us, into these celebratory days of darkness, of peace, of love, and of togetherness. And I just give thanks. I give thanks that this power and this love and this perfection is with us, as us, always. And so I simply release into the law, knowing that as I have recognized and spoken these words, it is already so. And so I simply allow it to be. And so it is.